As prices continue to rise at the grocery store and even in other places like the gas pump recently, you may be looking to find ways to cut corners anywhere you can. I've got an idea today that I'd like to share with you. I'm about to cook a Boston butt. You may know it by other names like pork butt or pork shoulder even. Whatever you call it, this is a great cut of meat that can help you save lots of dollars in the kitchen. I'm going to show you exactly what I do with mine to get it cooked and then how I prep it to go in the freezer so it's ready for many meals in the weeks to come. Hi, my name's Laura and I hope you'll make yourself at home while I cook a Boston butt. The first thing I'm going to do is take my meat and just get it seasoned up. I have a dry rub that I like to put on my meat. It's a combination of brown sugar, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic salt, onion salt, celery salt, cayenne pepper, and ground cumin. I'm going to link the recipe, the specific measurements in the description box below so that you can have that if you'd like it. But I just get those and blend them together, and then I just press them into every side of the meat. I turn it around, get it on the sides, the top, the bottom, so that everything is coated, and I take my hands and just press it down into the meat. And what this is going to do is just give you such a great foundation of flavor for your pork. You're going to be able to go a lot of different directions with this and use it in several different meal ideas. And we'll go through some of those ideas in just a few minutes. But just know that this spice rub is going to give you such a foundation of flavor. And the other thing I like to do for flavor is when I put it in the crock pot you see here, I like to flip it so that the fat cap is facing up. And then the fat just cooks down into it and continues to give it additional flavor. Now, we're going to remove that at the end. You'll see that. So we're not going to keep that in the meat, but it does flavor it as it cooks. Okay, we've got this all loaded up in the crock pot. We're going to get the lid on, and I'm going to turn it on high, and we're going to cook this for minimum of 8 hours, actually overnight. So it's probably going to go for about 10 hours in my case. This pork roast has been cooking all day on high for about 10 hours, and I'm pretty sure it's done. We're going to check it. Look at all that steam. We're going to check it here. Get my big meat fork. And yep, that went into it nice and easy, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to get this pulled out and onto a platter, and then we'll work on shredding it in just a little bit after it's had a little chance to rest. I like to let this rest for about 30 minutes or so before I actually get in and work with it. It's just too hot to handle at first. And you see there, the bone just slides right out. You do have that one bone that you have to deal with, but if you cook this long enough, it just comes right out. You don't even have any meat you have to take off of it. But I like to have a bowl close by and handy, and I just start going through the meat, and I try to pick all the fat out and discard it. And then, as you see, I'm putting the meat on a cutting board so that I can deal with it once I get it all pulled apart. This is the most time-consuming and labor-intensive part of the process. As you see, the meat just cooks itself in the crock pot. Or if you have a smoker, I don't have one, but if you have one and like to cook it that way, kind of the same thing. You just get it seasoned up really quickly and wrapped and smoked, and the cooking just takes care of itself. All you have to do with is process the meat afterwards, really. I don't know if you caught it in the clips where I was cooking the meat, but I actually cooked 2 of these. I got one ready and seasoned to cook overnight one night, and then I did another the next day, and you got a clip from each of those actually. I came across a great sale at my local Kroger. It was $1.49 a pound, so that's exactly when I like to stock up. So I bought 2 of these. It was a total of about 16.5 pounds of meat, and I spent $24.83. So for less than $25, I'm going to get all the meat. Actually, what I show you in the end is only 1 platter full. I got 2 platters full of meat that I'm going to stock my freezer, and it's just a phenomenal amount of meat for the money. I love to serve this to a crowd or when you have company over for dinner. I feel like this is such an economical dish, and you can serve traditional barbecue sides with it, like baked beans, potato salad, coleslaw, deviled eggs, chips. You can add buns if you want to make sandwiches out of it. Most people really love and appreciate that kind of meal, and it doesn't feel like you're trying to get out cheap or anything like that. You've put in a lot of effort and a lot of love into the meal. You just may not have spent quite as much money up front to get it executed. And if you've ever purchased pulled pork at a restaurant or gotten it for takeout to serve for company, you know that it is not cheap. So I priced it at a couple different places, and it ranged anywhere from about $15 to $19 a pound. And just using that lowest price point, that $15 a pound, I would have spent $105 on the 7 pounds that I got out of this. So once it does cook down, you are going to lose some of the weight that you originally started with between the fat content, some of the water that cooks out, and that bone as well. But as I said, 7 pounds of meat, and just think I still spent less than $25 for all of it. That is a bargain. So let's talk for just a minute about what all the different ideas are you can do with this pork. Obviously, we've just highlighted some of the more classic traditional ideas, but you can serve this as just a pork roast with some veggies on the side. And honestly, once you have this ready, if you went with just a simple baked potato and some steamed veggies, that's almost a convenience meal at that point. So it would be a very easy dinner. You could do barbecue and sides, barbecue sandwich and chips. You could do a barbecue stuffed potato. That's actually what I plan to do with my family in the next couple of days. You could make pork wraps with these with some fresh coleslaw, or maybe even an Asian flair with some different Asian style sauces to go on it. You can make pulled pork nachos. That's a favorite in our house. You could also do pork rice bowls with whatever toppings you want to go on it. You could do a pork stir fry or fried rice. You could do a salad topped with pork. There's a really good Taylor Farm bag salad kit that's a smoky ranch. I think this would pair really well with that. You could even add it to some other ingredients and make a Cuban sandwich out of this. You could add it to some panini bread and some ham and mustard and pickle, and make a really good Cuban. And there are probably lots of other ideas out there. You guys can probably think of some, but I just want to highlight how versatile this really is and how many options there are, that you don't have to be intimidated by having a lot of meat, that you can really mix it up and change things up for your family. So I've finished pulling all the pork off of the bone and pulling the fat away, and you see now I'm going to chop it up. So I like to start with a rough chop, and that's honestly almost all I have to do with it, because in just a minute you'll see that I just take my fingers and my thumbs, and when you press on it, you don't even have to put much effort into it, but when you press on it, because it's still warm, it just starts to shred apart. So really all I'm doing here with the knife is getting it cut to the length that I want it. I just don't want the meat to be in longer pieces so that when you bite into it, that anything would be hanging out of your mouth. I want it to be short enough to be manageable at bite-sized pieces. So this only takes a couple minutes. It goes really quick because the meat is so warm and tender, the knife runs right through it. It's no trouble at all. I do have this sped up a little bit, but it doesn't really take much longer than that, honestly. And now I do take a break. I've got a little bit of meat left to chop, but because I've got a nice layer on my platter, I decided to go ahead and break up what's there. And as I mentioned earlier, I just take my fingers and thumb and just run them through it, and it just breaks up naturally. It doesn't take much effort at all. And with just a little bit of time and effort, all of a sudden I have this platter full of beautiful and delicious pulled pork that we will be eating several meals on, and probably sharing with several friends as well. Check out this beautiful platter of pulled pork. Got lots of meat that I'm going to put in my freezer, and we're going to have so many meals in the upcoming weeks where the prep is already done, and I didn't spend that much money either. So it's a win all the way around. If you're looking for a way to save some money in your kitchen and you've never done this with a pork butt before, I highly recommend you give it a try. It's a really easy way to batch cook and prep a lot of food at one time. What foods do you like to batch cook? I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a good day. Thanks so much for being with me. If you like this and aren't already subscribed, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button. Take care.